Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Oh, baby. Them fucking Rangers, Dallas.
Come on.
No, fuck you.
I tell you what, they got a horseshoe up their ass.
Yeah,
is what
guess
they
what?
got
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, you know what? They do have a horseshoe up their ass. Want to know why? Because they fucking Cowboys, baby.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Them Cowboys are out there winning games 9 straight on the road. I believe that's a record for a team in a single postseason. 9 straight road wins for them Rangers. And hey, listen. Hey, not a lot of good news besides the win. I mean, you're down a Max Scherzer. You're potentially down in Adolis Garcia. But at the end of the day, Dallas, still a win for them Rangers. 2-1 series lead in that World Series, Dallas.
And I'm gonna tell you right now.
What are you gonna tell me?
Where it starts. I'm gonna tell you where it starts, Jared.
Tell me where it starts.
I've seen better execution in a high school driver's ed class.
What are you talking about?
Stop at the stop sign.
Stop
at the stop sign.
Yeah.
That's such a dagger.
Hold on, this is the good part. Shut up.
I don't want to hear it.
Cowboy, baby. Yeah. Shut the fuck
It's a
up,
different
Dallas.
ballgame.
Shut up.
It's a different ballgame if it's 1-0 early. Different ball.
You
don't even know.
Baby. Run that night cause I sleep all day. I really have been sleeping all day. I've been on this couch for
You don't even know. You don't even know the words. You don't even know the words to this song.
Doesn't matter, cowboy bitch.
But the stop sign immediately. I mean, oh, come on, man. We're in such a different position. 2 on, first and third, nobody out. It's just a different world. We're living in a different world right now. Oh, that's a dagger. That is a dagger in a decisive. I mean, look, 1-1, series 1-1. You're at home. I understand you got the chance to go up early, and maybe that's what Walker's thinking because he was aggressive. He was hunting home plate. All right, and I don't fault him for that.
He had his head straight on the fucking dirt.
But that's the thing, Joe. Is it is early. There, Jared. Some would say that there's a little meat left on that bones, and he didn't. I mean, oh God. I
think
get
he
it.
just thought. You think he thought he was going so fast? I'm going so fucking fast.
Well, he didn't
right
even
now.
look. He didn't even look.
Oh,
He's
it
looking at his
wasn't
feet.
bro. Like
When you're looking at your feet. You're going.
Yeah,
you see
he
your
had
feet
it-
moving.
he
You see
had
your
it-
own feet. You're, oh my God. You're like going so fast.
Joe, he had it in his mind.
way
Like
they
I said,
got
if
me.
this ball reaches the outfit, if this is a knock, I'm going. It's fucking 1-0 Snakes, and we're getting it up. The problem was it was to Adolis Garcia. That's problem number one.
He's got a
Problem
cannon.
number two is Garcia was letting the ball go as Christian Walker was like hitting/releasing from third base. Like it wasn't particularly close.
Wasn't it though? Like it basically took a beautiful, perfect throw and a perfect handling of that throw to nail him at the plate, right? Even though he blew through the stop sign, which is it's kind of like
No, Jay, that's 2.5 feet, dude. 2.5 feet
I don't
second
know, man.
inning. Like it's not even.
I'm not really even trying to defend it. I'm just like, I don't know. It felt a little closer in real time than.
But see, like game, like that. All that be damn. Like for me, it wasn't like as soon as I saw him continuing to we didn't have the shot of the third base coach. We didn't have that yet. Replay hadn't happened in real time. I was like, oh, this is no, don't do this. Don't do this. This is not good. And then it wasn't. And then like from my perspective, not even close. Not even close. And then they showed the replay, and that's where know your runner, know your defender. Like we're just talking two opposite ends of the spectrum there, and then game situation, and the whole series. Like it's 1-1. Series is 0-0. It's best, we got to be better. We have to give ourselves a chance. But again, it's so early in the game that it's not like one of those. It doesn't feel like it's a big, huge, monumental mental mistake because you could call it a physical mistake. He didn't have his head up. Well, that's part of the mental aspect of this, is knowing that you need to be in communication with your third base coach. So for it to happen early, it's him just excited, wanting to make a play, knows that it could be very impactful. You go up this early, 1-0. Like, who knows? The throw drawn, you'd like for a guy to end up at second. Like, there's just a lot of different things that are probably going through your mind right there if you're Walker. Getting thrown out by 2.5, 3 feet, I don't think was one of them when it started.
No outs. Does that kill the Christian Walker resurgence train because they had all the momentum? He's been terrible all playoffs.
He was ready to be an X Factor, Joe. He was ready to be an X Factor.
And he hit the double, and they had the Trey Turner treatment. They gave him the standing ovation. They took a page out of Philly's book, and it fucking worked.
That double, by the way, that was a home run in 20 out of 30 ballparks. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in the butterfly effect, Dallas?
Yes.
So let's just say hypothetically, right? Christian Walker hits a home run instead of a double that he gets thrown out at home plate, and that's a run for the D-backs. It's like, all right, well, they still would have lost 3-2. But there's the butterfly effect of all of that happening changes completely. The vibes. Yes.
Yeah, that's why, like, it's like, oh man, you give up a homer, and or you say you walk a guy, and it was a close pitch, and now he's on first base, and then the next pitch to the next hitter, the first pitch to the next hitter, boom, bomb, right? And you're like, well, that hurts, but things may have been a little different. Pitch selection, location, everything. If I'm not pitching out of the stretch, if I don't have a guy on first base, so yeah, that stuff. I mean, but that's all. I think the butterfly effect. Also, you have to factor in the benefit of hindsight, because you know what happens, and that's what gets your curiosity piqued. Is, well, what if this would have, right? Hypothetical train starts rolling into town, and everybody wants to get on board with that.
Yeah, especially with Scherzer pitching, who was like not sharp, and it took him taking a ball off his fucking elbow to get out of that inning. That out, giving that free out, like, you got to assume they're scoring, obviously at least one, probably two, if he scores on that, or if he stays at.
What
third.
are you saying? If he doesn't get hit, or if Scherzer comes back out?
I'm saying if you have first and third, he doesn't go home, no one out. Like, you're pretty much guaranteed at least one run.
Well, you'd like to believe that,
but I'm saying probably more than that against Scherzer.
Well, I don't know. Well,
Guy's got.
What do you mean?
Guy's got no back. He's got no back.
Fine.
He's got a blister. He's 39 years old. The guy can't pitch.
Let me ask you this.
He's not sharp.
Is the 3 innings of no runs from Max Scherzer? Is that anywhere close to the what we get from Evaldi? 5 innings, 5 runs. Like,
is that? It's probably better.
What I'm kind of getting at is Scherzer gave you what he gave you, and for me, it's been, you'll take what you can get from him every start this postseason. You'll take what you can get from Max Scherzer, and what he did tonight was give you 3 innings. He was poised to give you 5. He was poised to give you more than 3 shutout innings, which is what he gave you with a fucking Terry's Major in 2 pieces. That's what he gave you. And then the bullpen comes out and just just shuts it down, right? Sans Chapman shuts it down.
Things are heating up in the ballpark, and the chase to crown a champion is on. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you won't miss a moment of the baseball action. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Plus, all customers can take a crack at a sweet payday with DraftKings same-game parlays. String together multiple bets from a single game for your shot at a major payout. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code JARED. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on baseball. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook app with promo code JARED. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance, opt-in, and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms.
But I mean, if Scherzer doesn't wear one off the elbow and ends up maybe tweaking his back, trying to not wear one off the elbow and can't make it, is it 5? Probably. With a lead? Probably.
I think him
was
exiting that
commendable
game was the best thing that ever happened to the Rangers.
I was thinking the same thing. It's
I'm
like
not even. I mean,
John Gray comes in.
John
being a
Gray,
little-
John Gray's been a dog.
I'm being a little funny, but it's
how do we say that though? How do we say that if he's giving you 3? How many hits did he give up?
2 hits, 2
hits?
walks, 1 strikeout. It
Okay,
wasn't
so
like
he
he
did
was
not have
fucking
good
dominating.
stuff. He didn't
No,
look
He got
no,
he got
absolutely
bailed out
not.
because he ran through the stop sign and got nailed by a fucking ground ball that turned into an out. Like,
But
it
he
wasn't
can't will
a pretty
himself through another
3
fucking
innings.
6 outs. You tell me
Jay,
Max
Jay,
Scherzer
hold
can't
on,
will
no.
himself through another 6
Jay,
outs?
hey, how many swings and misses did Scherzer have tonight?
Maybe
it's
3.
a good question. I didn't have that handy. Hold on.
Is that on Savant?
Yeah.
Yeah, pull up Savant. I'm curious what the swing and miss was because I mean, three shut,
2. He had
2
2
swings and miss. Okay,
I
so
said 3.
but isn't that what Max Scherzer is right now? Like he's not gonna. We knew he
Yes.
wasn't gonna have good
Yes.
shit. We knew he was just
Yes.
gonna go out there and die
That's
on
the
his
whole
shield.
point.
He like.
That-
Did you at any point, Dallas, think about CC Sabathia tonight? Like we're just you knew that if
Just
Max Scherzer
willing
comes out
it.
in agony, it's like all right. This is the last because he's slated right now. He would have been slated for Game 7.
7.
Now
Yes.
it's like all right. You had to use your Game 4 starter and John Gray, who comes out of the bullpen to save Scherzer. So now we're gonna probably see what like double bullpen games tomorrow.
Probably. And here's
And then
what's
what the
intriguing.
fuck are they gonna do in Game 7?
Well, this is what's intriguing about the Scherzer thing is remember, this is the dude who woke up and couldn't move his neck, right? And was like, I can't even fucking, I can barely see out of the side of my eye. What was that? Last year, a couple years ago, whatever it was. And then ends up somehow, some way, able to make his start, able to bounce back. So who knows what this is, right? And I'll say this, I think there's a little showmanship to Max. He probably knew what he was feeling, but he's there, top step, World Series, understands, man, I know eyeballs are on me right now. I want to go out there and muster everything I can up. I just don't know that I have it. So, Jay, I can understand how you facetiously would say that's probably the best thing that happened to the Texas Rangers is getting Max Scherzer out there who was getting by on smoke and mirrors. And that's totally fair to assess. The whole point is he was getting by on smoke and mirrors. And so with a 3-run lead, if you were able to continue to blow a little smoke and maybe flash a reflection here or there, you're going to do it. You're going to continue to go because Max Scherzer is going to tell you that you're going to continue to roll him out there. And Bruce Bochy is going to continue to roll him out there until he finds himself one swing away from a shift in the game. And he'll give him that shot to change it. And if not, it's a done deal. We'll see you. Enter the rest of the boys.
Well, that's my point. Is he probably would have given him that shot, and he probably would have ended badly. I think the fact that they got out of that with 0 runs allowed in 3 innings for Scherzer, injury aside, is a massive win for the Rangers. They got probably a guy who is a better pitcher right now in the game on the mound to replace Scherzer. And their bullpen did a great job. I mean, that to me is the story of the game.
Well, and so think about this, Jay. Hey, there's no chance you put Max Scherzer in John Gray's position and ask him to do what John Gray did, do you?
No.
Knowing that you have the injury that you're dealing with Max Scherzer.
I
So
don't think we see
back to
Scherzer again.
no, back to the lofty. Oh, could Max be an X factor thing? If he's healthy and gets through tonight and gives you 5 shutout, and then is somehow able to answer the bell in Game 7 if necessary, and give you 3 or 4, or give you something like he did tonight, for me, that tells you, that makes Max Scherzer an X factor. Because now you're giving the ball to a guy like John Gray who can do what he's doing because that Max Scherzer has been able to do what he's done. There's no chance you're getting Max up and down in the bullpen and not running him out there, or running him out there and expecting more than no. John Gray has been fabulous.
Yeah, like what's he got, a sub-2 in the postseason right now?
159.
Well, just-
Look at that.
And like Joe said, the role that he's serving right now, that's what you like. It's World Series time, buddy. Like, give me the ball. Roll be damned. I'm an out getter. That's what you turn into in October. You're a pitcher, March through September. In October, you're an out getter. That's your job.
And he looks like Jay.
And he looks like Jay. Yes, we have
Sexy bitch.
decided that.
Yeah, we said the best looking guy on the Rangers. Is that's how we started the conversation? I think. Yeah, I agree.
Jay, I think Dallas landed on the Christian Walker getting thrown out by Adolis Garcia play at home plate as the most pivotal moment of the game. What would you say was the most pivotal moment of the game?
That's a good question. I mean, the Corey Seager home run is probably the most pivotal point of the game. If we're being real about it.
Did we hear an exit velo? I was yelling when he hit it because I'm
pretty sure I saw that it's the hardest hit home run by exit velocity in the stat, like in the postseason and StatCast
in the
era.
postseason in the StatCast era.
It's 114.
Yeah, it was like
114.5 miles per hour.
Joe, you could have told me it was 142.5, and I would have had no issue with that.
It was 197.
It was a fucking missile. A missile.
That still seems low for the highest.
It's light.
It does.
Yeah, I know that seems light.
Yeah, like Matt Stairs off of fucking Broxton in 2008. Like that had to have been an exit velocity of fucking 200.
Well, how hard was the ball that Marte hit late in the game? The double play. If that ball gets through, we got a different ball game. That's how hard that was hit.
Well,
but
just to be clear,
that's
just the hardest hit homer. Hardest hit homer, not hardest hit ball.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted
the kids at home need to know that the hardest hit balls are on the ground.
Well,
That's true.
Well, not in this case. This one was 0.1 mile per hour slower than the Seager homer.
I think the hardest hit ball was like a fucking Giancarlo Stanton single.
You sure it's not the O'Neill Cruz?
If you look that up, I want to say if someone passed them, maybe, but at one point, the hardest hit ball during the StatCast era was a Giancarlo Stanton like base hit to fucking right center.
It was, but then Dallas's guy O'Neill Cruz.
Oh, so we're
beat
both
him.
right.
Sounds like you owe him a jersey, Jared.
Oh, shiz, huh?
He already has every jersey. Dude has. What would be the next jersey that you would want, Dallas?
Ooh. Man,
Las Vegas got Las Vegas.
Whoa, Joe, unnecessary.
The Las Vegas A's.
Oh, maybe I don't know, man. Maybe a Shane McClanahan.
Oh, okay. We should get. He already said he wanted to come on the podcast. We should get him on.
Yeah, so he's a peach.
What's the Las Vegas A's color scheme going to be?
Why are we even? We're not having.
I'm just
that
asking. I mean, we got on the subject. Are they going to keep the green and
right?
gold?
And we can quickly get off the fucking subject.
Like, you're like a mouthpiece for the organization. So I figured
I'm a broadcaster.
Yeah,
I'm a broadcaster.
That's the definition of a mouthpiece.
The color scheme is just going to be like they're all going to be dressed like the dealers. At a Vegas casino. Hey, can I provide a different answer to your question though? Because Seager was a little too obvious. I think if I have to come up with another one, it's Chapman. Not to give him undue credit, but when Chapman got Corbin Carroll struck out looking.
Just fucking frozen
pizza.
pizza.
That's a slider right down the cock?
Yeah.
Right down the cock.
Carroll looking for heater. Carroll looking for the heater.
Because at that point,
swing.
There were not many inflection points in the game from Arizona's perspective where they put like real pressure on the Rangers after the Rangers got the lead. And this was the one kind of moment in the game where you felt like, all right, if the Diamondbacks are going to come back, it's going to be right now. Like they'd already gotten a run in at that point. There was a guy on base. Perdomo was still on base at that point. You really could have done something. And in Carroll and Marte, who was the guy who was up next, you had arguably the two most dangerous hitters in the D-backs lineup. So he got him looking, and then he got Marte to ground into the double play, and all of a sudden the threat was over. And the game was over. So I think that's my answer.
Yeah.
And the game was over.
Yeah.
Even under the bright lights of the playoffs, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is the beer that's made brighter. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark for baseball fans, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. From its bold, refreshing flavor to its beautiful, bright color, Blue Moon is as iconic as America's pastime. I bet Rangers fans were cracking their fair share of Blue Moons in the bottom of the 8th tonight when Chapman was on the mound. I'm not a Rangers fan, but if I was, I don't know how I would have got through that inning without sipping on some Blue Moons. But even if you're not a fan of one of the two teams in the World Series right now and you're just watching as a regular baseball fan, I'd still recommend going down to the store, grabbing a pack of Blue Moons and watching the game with those moons. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball, so it's the perfect match for the playoffs. The crack of a beer, the pour, the first sip of that bold flavor, Blue Moon always feels like a special occasion. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all through the playoffs. Brighten up the baseball playoffs with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for fresh baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket. Blue Moon. Made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
Joseph, do you agree with Dallas or Jay, or did you have a different moment that you thought stood out as the most pivotal moment in the game?
Those are the three most pivotal moments in the game, right there.
I mean, you could say that Scherzer coming out of the game with an injury was the pivotal moment, because then if you trot him back out there and there's traffic, do you go to John Gray? Does John Gray get you out of that jam? The whole thing, that's why it's butterfly effect, because,
hold on. So do we think there's any theater behind this? Because just like I told you, Max, a warrior. You can never question whether or not that dude is ever gonna go out on his shield or not. Like, given the option, we know what Max Scherzer's doing.
Yeah.
That being said, is there any thought there may be a little conversation about this in the wings? Boach is like, hey,
fake an injury?
No, not fake an injury. I'm just saying, look, you go out there and you give us what you can, all right? From there, think about where we're at matchup wise, and if we've got a lead, maybe it's just a little back.
Well, he fucking came out of the dugout for the fourth.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. But like you could see him like. And I mean, dude, when you're hurting like that, like you're trying to walk up the dugout steps, that shit's not easy. You're trying to get ready to go out there. I understand, like, adrenaline, World Series, but I talked about the adrenaline pump and the adrenaline dump, and that's the dump factor for Max. It's like, buddy, I don't care if there's a million people here.
You say something
screaming
about
my name. This shit is not feeling good. I can't do this. This sucks. So you could just see his face, like he was like.
Oh. So are you saying he's faking it or not?
I don't know. This guy.
I'm not saying he's faking anything. I'm saying like, hey, Boach, I'm not feeling great, man. I'm not, all right, well, here, this is what we do. You get out there. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling great. You've given us what you got.
Oh, I see.
We'll have you go out there. Yeah, not that he's faking anything.
Because Rosenthal apparently said Scherzer was, quote, near tears when heading to the clubhouse.
That was for the bit.
Yeah, I don't know if that's for the bit. He can't fucking feel anything. He's probably in pain.
Well, that was my question. I was like, that's excessively committed to this little ruse they have going on. Yeah.
No. That's why I said, like, dude, to watch him, and I agree with Jared that very well could be like a pivotal part of the game where you're like, dude, how does this go if John Gray doesn't do what he does?
Yeah, or if he inherits a mess.
Boach, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head towards the clubhouse, and I'm going to break down in tears. And I'm going to really sell this for
Rosenthal.
you.
Tell Rosenthal.
Yeah, tell somebody leak it to Rosenthal that I'm crying like a little baby.
They're just hitting him with the fucking ammonia bottle in the eyeballs. Well it up, Maxie. It'll be all right.
Yeah. I would say, obviously there was a lot of attention on the Max Scherzer injury, but the biggest injury of the night, Adolis Garcia takes a hack, bent over at first base, looks like an oblique.
some side tightness, immediately came out of the game. I mean, this is a dude that's he's jacked, he's built tough. It was a 2-run game. I mean, it's not something where it's like, hey, like, you know, game 2 where it's 9-1. Hey, let's not risk it. Let's take him out. It's still a very winnable game for the D-backs at that point. And Adolis Garcia has been the lifeblood of that Rangers offense for the entire postseason. He gets lifted immediately. And then old Bobby Nightingale had a tweet that the second the game was over, Garcia was out of there. He was on his way to go get some tests done. That's the update as of right now. We record immediately after the games are over. So if you're listening to this tomorrow morning and then there's an update, then you know it is what it is. We just that's all the information we have right now. But it didn't look good, didn't sound good. I mean, he grabbed at it immediately out of the batter's box, and then once he got to first base, he continued to grab at it, and he was grabbing at it going down the stairs to the clubhouse. So he was in some obvious pain. That's a pretty big fucking blow. I mean, like Dallas, your experience with Toradol, which is something that I wish I had the last week. That's what is the pain tolerance? I mean, like, you know, you're speaking from a pitcher's perspective, but a guy that has to go up there and hack his fucking balls off. Like, what type of what are the chances we see him come back?
So for look. Initially, what I want to tell you is I just don't know, depending on the severity of what he's experiencing. We have to jump in the hypothetical hot tub right now if we're going to have this conversation. And that's not
I've never heard of the
diagnosis.
Hypothetical hot tub before. This
Yeah,
is
the
exciting.
hypothetical hot tub. So we're going to, and that's, we're not diagnosing anything. This is just,
We're just not.
let's say it's a grade 2.
We're not diagnosing,
Strain-
not on the first date. We're not diagnosing
No,
shit.
no,
I'll tell
No,
you.
not a fucking hypothetical hot tub.
No,
Anyway.
no.
There's people watching. We're wearing suits. Hands above the bubbles.
Yeah.
Your grade 2 strain, buddy, we're talking one step away from, yeah, believe it or not, grade 3, but that is grade 3. You're done. Like, you're not, no. Like, we're going to have
Once
to
you're
wait
at 3,
for
you're
the
one
swelling
step
to go
away
down.
from 4. And then
It's like,
you don't
and
even
then
have
Jay,
it. You don't even have one.
it's
anymore.
off the bone.
Yeah.
And we're just that much closer to 5, right? You're that much closer to 5.
Yeah.
But it's like off the bone when you're starting to like 3 territory. So let's say hypothetical hot tub, it's a 2, and he's on the T train. He's punched his ticket on the T train. Tortle. That's an AB, maybe AB and a half. Like, go up there and maybe take a couple pitches the second time around.
Yeah.
Like, mechanically, you don't have to sacrifice anything because you're not really feeling the injury. You're not really feeling what would have you turn the brakes on prematurely. So from a pitcher's perspective, mechanically able to execute. Arm swing, release point, everything is able to still sync up because there's no pain message being sent to the brain. That's being blocked. For a swing, like you're talking about fast twitch, and this dude, Adolis, extremely twitchy. Very twitchy. So for him to be able to, it's just really about pain tolerance for him. If he can withstand that torque, have at it. We can rest in November and December and January and February. We'll be all right. Well,
Adolis takes gangster hacks. Like, there's
For sure.
nothing. He puts everything he has into his swings. So yeah, that seems like something that you know.
Yeah, you could like
You're
I've watched
halfway there. You got 2
Jared,
wins to go.
I've watched a fucking chicken get field dressed with less intensity than Adolis Garcia swings a baseball bat. Like, we're talking about exposing rib cage and breast muscles. Like, this dude is absolutely firing. So that's why, I mean, there's only so much the T train can cover.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I mean,
I'm not
they're
saying he's
going
not
to
gonna
try,
be
though.
available. Yeah, I mean, it might be available off the bench.
Well, put it this way. If he's not in the starting lineup, I think you could probably say, like, there's a chance we just don't fucking see him again.
Yeah, well, because here's the other thing is you're not gonna hide him in DH,
No.
and he's not gonna go out there defensively because you got to be able to throw. You got to be able. It's why this sucks. It's why it absolutely sucks, and it's why you hope it's just a man. Damn it, that didn't feel great. What is it? Okay, it's calmed down. We've taken a look. I feel great today. Maybe, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. While we were talking about Adolis's injury, it has been announced that because John Gray had to come out of the bullpen to pick up the slack for Scherzer, John Gray was supposed to be the Game 4 starter.
Great Dane.
Game 4 starter is
the Great Dane.
Cowboy.
Andrew Heaney.
Oh, give it a Lesty. Let's go.
It's Andrew Heaney.
Well, who's going for the D-backs?
It's a bullpen game for the D-backs. They're going bullpen game.
Well,
yeah.
Heaney's basically, I mean, same with Texas. Heaney's not a starter anymore.
I mean, they're at this point.
He's an out-getter, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Gray.
And that's kind of what I was thinking going into the series. It looked like on paper like the D-backs have the stronger bullpen, but with all these guys who aren't really bullpen guys, but started during the season, so you don't really consider them bullpen guys. But then you have them come in like a John Gray, Andrew Heaney. They're not the worst options. It almost makes them deeper than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, but the difference between Heaney and Gray is that Gray has been good and Heaney has been bad.
That does seem like a difference to me.
John Gray pitched 2 innings before today in the playoffs.
And the thing about starters going into the
That can't be true.
relief role, the thing about these guys going into the relief role too is if Heaney just isn't able to settle in and establish anything the way we saw Gray do tonight, and it's early action, buddy, that can get ugly very quickly.
You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Maybe you're a DBacks fan and you wanted to go to the World Series, but you looked at the prices before the World Series started and you're like, damn, those are way too expensive. I don't think I can go. Well, the best part about Game Time is you can buy tickets literally up to the last minute of the event and even an hour after it starts. So if you live in the area or you're planning to be around at one of the bars for the game, maybe hop on Game Time around first pitch or maybe even a little after and see what the prices look like, because you might be pleasantly surprised. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. Buy tickets in literally seconds with 2 taps. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code JARED for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JARED for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I understand the point. Like Andrew Heaney is probably individually a more talented pitcher than some of the people that are being featured in the Diamondbacks bullpen. I don't know. I mean, this is obviously dicey for both teams. That's not breaking news. It's a bullpen game. I mean, this is functionally a bullpen game to Joe's point for both teams because Andrew Heaney the last time he threw 25 pitches in an outing was October 7th. So 23 days ago, 24 days ago by the time the game's played.
Let me ask you guys this. Is the way this series is unfolding because of what we've experienced on the mound with Scherzer specifically, but how we've seen the Diamondbacks perform as well, is this series, the way that we're watching it unfold, a good representation of the era of baseball we're in right now? Or do we still, not that we still yearn for, because yes, we still yearn for, but do we still expect to see a 3-headed monster come October, carry the weight, and then have a couple guys reveal themselves out of the bullpen as October heroes that really helped the push to the finish line? Or is the fact that we're talking about multiple bullpen type games with not clear-cut starting pitcher options as a part of this World Series?
It's both, right? Because, I mean, like, you're getting a bullpen game from the D-backs in Game 4, and I think the
come out of nowhere. I mean, he wasn't a hero tonight, but I mean, he kind of had his Merrill Kelly start where you get whacked one time by Seager, but you go 5 1/3. You only give up 3 runs. Like Brandon Pfaadt he's been rock solid this postseason, and he was arguably the most mocked game 1 starter in postseason history. Like no one had any faith in that dude coming into the playoffs, and now when he's on the mound, you're like, oh shit, Pfaadt's starting tonight. Like this is gonna be appointment watching. Like that's, that's what he's done.
You're saying don't count him out. Like don't sleep on Pfaadt. You better
I'm not
not.
even saying that. I don't think anyone's even sleeping on him anymore. I think he's kind of established himself as a guy this postseason alone.
Well, for the postseason,
I think,
at least, right?
I think if you're a casual baseball fan, like I know we talked about him on Name Redacted. I don't think we mentioned Brandon Pfaadt one time on this podcast.
Radio Pfaadt, here I come.
If you're like just tuning in, like your team got eliminated and you haven't watched a single DBacks game all year, there are more people that would be shocked to learn that he was ass during the regular season. Like they're watching him pitch in the postseason and be like, oh wow, like this kid must be a stud.
I am sympathetic to Dallas's question though, because, and I think Brandon Pfaadt's he's a great example of why it's a complicated question, because yes, he has come in, he's been much better than he was during the regular season. He's been better in the postseason than he was even during his better stretch during the regular season in the second half. Great story, somebody to build on for the D-backs moving forward. He's also thrown 22 innings in 5 starts. Okay. And I think what Dallas was getting at a little bit was that there was an era where when you got to the postseason, there was an anticipation that you weren't just getting one Merrill Kelly start over like both the LCS and the World Series from an entire team, right? You were getting 2 or 3 of those starts from maybe 1 or 2 different guys in a rotation, where you were like, because I remember, like, I was a researcher for a long time, and one of my favorite things to do during the postseason was you would get these signature fucking pitching performances, and you would be like, all right, I'm going to look up the last time somebody went 7 innings and struck out like 10 batters and only allowed 2 or fewer hits. And like Merrill Kelly was an example of that. It's like the only example that's been produced of that.
So yeah.
Like not literally in the entire postseason, but there have been very few examples of that, and it feels like we're moving further and further away from that. So yes, Brandon Pfaadt's been great. He also has thrown like 4.1 innings pitched or 4.2 innings pitched per start over 5 starts to a 3.27 ERA. So it's like we're not talking about the second coming in his performance either. If he's like the breakout young pitcher in the postseason. So I'm sympathetic to it. Like, I think these teams have done a decent approximation of that, of the modern version of it with some of their performances across the postseason. Merrill Kelly's obviously been mentioned multiple times, but I do personally miss the period of time where you had 2 or 3 guys in a rotation who were at least capable of delivering like that epic get on my back postseason performance, even if not everything is going to reach like a Madison Bumgarner status.
And it feels like Zach Gallen not doing that consistently this postseason has almost prevented us from maybe experiencing just a little bit of that, because Jay, when's the last time that we've felt that? Is it? Well, I mean, and maybe not even a 3-headed monster, but is it
the 2005 Chicago White Sox?
No,
with Burley and
don't disrespect the fucking
Freddie
Garcia.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, Freddie Garcia.
They're a great example of what
Contreras.
They're a great example of what you're talking about. I'm not disrespecting that team at all. I'm just saying, like, it has to be more recently.
John Garland. Yeah. What a fucking rotation that was. They averaged like 8 innings a start that postseason. Their whole rotation.
Well,
you know what I was looking at?
Contreras, 2 dudes recently, that just could not have worked fucking faster or slower.
Yeah.
Tell us, Joseph.
It just shows us how fast this thing's kind of turned. If you remember the 2019 World Series when it was Scherzer versus Greinke.
Yep.
And Greinke got taken out, and people were like, "Why are you taking Greinke out? What the fuck? He's going strong." But if you look back, they took him out in the 7th inning. And like nowadays, that would never even be a question. Like you would never let him even get to the 7th inning, giving up 2 runs.
But that's that.
And at the time, people were even talking shit back then. Like you should let him go. He's winning.
So that
that was only 3-4 years ago.
Not to point out what you said, but the literal the word and where your brain is at as a fan. You are in the mindset like you would be baffled that they would let a starting pitcher go 7 innings in the postseason. Like that just doesn't even register in your brain. You know what I mean? Like there's no way they'd even let that happen these days. Like, so what the fuck was happening? What are they talking about? And it's like, no, Joe, they used to be a thing. They used to let him go like quite a bit. Like, did you know that the guy calling World Series games today pitched against a guy who threw 10 innings in a World Series game? He threw 9 innings in that game. The guy he pitched against threw 10. The most epic World Series performance ever. He's a Hall of Famer, Jay. Hey, fuck you. We'll have that conversation another day. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. But that's the kind of stuff that was getting rolled out there. And it's interesting to me and to hear like a younger fan just, you know what I mean? Like it's biologically ingrained in you. Like starters just don't do that.
But even dial back the expectations. You're talking about like the Jack Morris, John Smoltz game. Like fucking forget it. Like a different sport basically. But like you only have to go back to 2019.
When men were made of iron and ships were made of wood, Jay. Hey, son of a bitch.
Did Jack Morris go 10 innings in that game?
Yes.
10. Like fucking Jared, 10.
But the Astros Nationals World Series, like I'm not talking about you must have a 10 inning or a 9 inning shutout in every World Series for it to be legitimate or entertaining or something that I'm going to enjoy. But in 2019, you had pitching matchups where you could look at basically all 7 games and be like, there is the two things. There is the possibility that one of these guys is going to deliver me an epic postseason pitching performance. And secondly, that at the very least, the expectation for these two people is that they are going to give you 5+ innings. And I just went through the box scores, and that is overwhelmingly the case in these. And there were multiple 7+ inning starts, a lot of 6 innings. Strasburg delivered a gem in this one. But now we go into these starts, and it's like, oh, fucking Brandon Pfaadt's on the mound. Like, well, what is a good start for Brandon Pfaadt? It's 5 innings.
Yeah.
2 earned, something like that. Like not all that different from what he gave today, but probably 2 instead of 3. Like that's a good start if you get that out of him. And Zach Gallen, like he has, Dallas said he hasn't done it consistently. He basically hasn't done it at all this postseason, delivered one of those starts. And like, I don't know, like, and it's not just me being a old baseball fan. I think it's a problem in the sense that like, this is one of the ways that you develop stars in the sport, right? Like a starting pitcher who delivers epic postseason performances coming off a regular season where he probably did some of that as well is a way for that person to build a star and be like, hey, that's one of the stars on the pitching side of the sport. If the sport on that side devolves into a bunch of people who are going to give you 2 to 3 to 4 innings and never be able to have that same level of impact on an individual high wattage, lots of eyes on the game performance, then you're not going to be able to build stars on that side of the game as easily as you used to. And I think that's a problem long term.
It's also a lot to do with this World Series. It's like the starting staffs on both of these teams are nothing close to what it was in 2019 or pretty much, I can't remember any World Series in terms of like guys who you really trust. Like Zach Gallen, he's been terrible, but other than that, it's Eovaldi. You could see him going deep. You could see Montgomery maybe because he did it like once already. And then and then Merrill Kelly. But those three guys, and then
so,
Zach Gallen, maybe.
Joe,
but like,
Joe, I would
you don't
argue,
have a strong starting pitching staff.
I would argue that you have to leave, and I've been one of the biggest proponents, one of the biggest fans, if not the biggest fan of Merrill Kelly down the stretch. But I would argue that you have to leave him out of that just because it has been some recency bias on his side. Like, I think going into it, big picture, zoom out, what's the total body of work tell us about who's going to be competitive in this series from the starting staff? I think you're looking at two dudes, Eovaldi and Gallen. And it's really the two other guys, as we've talked about, Kelly and Fott, that have got the attention, that have garnered the attention, deservedly so. And Eovaldi's going to need help. And you got Andrew Heaney taking ball game 4.
You know what Fott's ERA is third time through the order this year?
Over 6.
Over 6, yes.
What is it, Joe? What is it? Oh, I don't know if you could look this up that quickly. I was going to say, what is it in September and beyond?
I don't know, but for the year, it's 9.68.
Hey, September and beyond. You know, I'm all about right now, Joe. There's two things people don't give a shit about in this game, Joseph. That's what you did yesterday and last year.
9.68. But if you're the guy making that decision, you see that number, Dallas, and you might, the good old days, they were going deep. You still gonna roll that dice?
Hey, I need to know what's it look like his last 4 starts. What's it look like his last 4 starts?
I don't think he's gotten to the third time through the order in the last 4 starts, and that's the reason.
So maybe it's a good time to test the waters.
Yeah, I could look up
World Series time. Why not?
September.
I need a hero.
This episode of Baseball's Dead is sponsored by BetterHelp. This time of the year can be a lot, and it's natural to feel some sadness or anxiety about it. But adding something new and positive to your life can counteract some of those feelings. Therapy can be a bright spot amid all the stress and change, something to look forward to make you feel grounded and to give you the tools to manage everything that's going on. I've definitely benefited from therapy in the past, and honestly, just having someone to talk to about your day-to-day struggles really goes a long way. If you're under the impression that therapy is just for people who've experienced major trauma, that's not true. Anything that's got you feeling down or giving you stress that you need to get off your chest, BetterHelp's there for just that. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, and it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. That's honestly the best part about it for me. Like, I'm up till 2, 3, 4 a.m. editing these podcasts, especially during the World Series. The last thing I want to do is wake up early and go drive somewhere to talk to someone in person. That's what's so great about BetterHelp, is I can just jump on a call with a licensed therapist from the comfort of my own home. I don't have to rearrange my whole day around it, and I can get the help I need right online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/baseball today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball.
We brought this up before we started recording, but the TV ratings for Game 1 of the World Series, I think they were the worst ever for a Game 1. Yeah,
what do we attribute that to?
People don't watch TV anymore.
No, I got an answer.
What is it?
Game 1 was on a fucking Friday.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I mean, that is definitely it. I think that's statistically like one of the least watched TV days of the week, and also unusual for a World Series to start on a Friday.
Yeah,
and it's not the biggest marquee matchup, if we're being honest. The star
that's
power
number
is
one.
not.
That is the number one.
The national.
I mean, they do this
in every sport.
Got Mookie Betts' ass out there to fucking drum up some excitement. It's like, hey, I know you guys got swept by the D-backs, but can we get Mookie out here to ask questions at the press conference? Like, that's where we're at. They saw the ratings. They were like, bring in Mookie.
I mean, again, unless you are personally, as a listener, like a Fox executive or a Major League Baseball employee, like in the commissioner's office, I don't know why you would give a fuck about what the ratings for Game 1 are. Like, if you're enjoying the product, that's all that matters.
I'm loving it.
I hate ratings conversations unless you are somebody who is employed in a way where they are going to impact you.
The nearly 0.4 is not gonna. It's not doing it for the folks in suits and ties.
That's fine. Let them worry about it. They are literally paid to worry about it.
It's also a trend across every sport other than the fucking Super Bowl. And I don't know the NFL playoffs,
you know what?
but
I feel like
NBA and NHL playoffs both had like record lowest viewerships.
I feel like
last season.
I feel like accounting for that shit is just like us trying to figure out how to account for defensive effectiveness, right? We've thrown some fucking algorithms out there. Yeah, are they all great? No. Flawed? Extremely. Can we depend on them? No. So, I mean, are we really doing a good job of factoring in everybody that's taking in the product? I feel like there's some biases and hurdles set up when we're talking about assessing whether or not people have eyeballs on this. I'm going to say this. There's probably not a ton of Diamondbacks fans out there in the grand scheme of things. Like, how many Diamondbacks fans, baseball fans, are alive and well today, right now? A fan, whatever you consider a fan.
I was there in fucking July or whatever it was when I did the MLB Combine at Chase Field. I didn't see any people walking around in Diamondback shit. And I was at the ballpark. I mean, obviously it wasn't a game day, but like I'm just like bopping around Phoenix with the fucking mayor, Sean and Casey, and there's no D-backs fans just walking around.
That's different. We're talking about high school guys, college guys. Like there's, like
go
baseball.
walk around in Philly or Boston or New York or LA. You're going to see Dodger hats. You're going to see Mets hats and Yankees hats and Red Sox hats. Like there was no one just repping the D-backs around Phoenix.
Fair. That's fair. That's, so just it's a limited pool.
That's not to say that they don't exist. Like I hand up. I mean, I've been on baseball Twitter for over a decade, and I had never ever encountered D-backs fans ever on Twitter. And now that they're in the World Series, I'm not saying that they're bandwagon fans or anything, but I just never encountered them. And now, lo and behold, here they are, and like it's kind of like the Astros in like 2017, where it's like I never heard from these motherfuckers before. And now all of a sudden they're like super like spicy. All of a sudden.
Well, it have been great to be a D-backs fan recently.
Per Jay, and Joe, if you got your shoes off, you can maybe count this high, but per capita, how many? Give me a percentage of Diamondbacks fans that are tuned in to the World Series.
Wouldn't all of them be? If you're a Diamondbacks fan, like you're watching the World Series. If you're a Diamondbacks fan, you're not watching the World Series. Like what the fuck? How are you even a Diamondbacks fan? It's got to be 100% of Diamondbacks fans, unless they have a prior engagement.
That's the thing. Like
I'm gonna say 92%. 8% of them have to go trick or treating with their kids or some shit. Got work.
I have no idea.
I guess that means I'm right.
I don't think the ratings are a surprise, though. I really don't.
I mean, worst ever.
They're always the worst ever, dude.
Okay, so
I know,
let's
there's 100 Diamondbacks fans watching baseball. How many of them?
The highest that it's been in 30 years. Like baseball is on an upward trend, and then all of a sudden you get slapped in the face that this is the worst viewership for a game one of the World Series ever.
That is a tough. Yes, that those two things seem to run counter to each other, right? But first of all, I think the first thing that you cited, all of the good news that came out of Major League Baseball from viewership and attendance and all that stuff this year, that's way more important to the growth of the game long term than what the ratings of an individual World Series game are. Secondly, like we got a World Series, and I know fans of these teams are tired of hearing about it. We got a World Series matchup that was not going to yield good ratings. And anybody who's going to fake surprise over this or indignation is just doing it for show. Like just doing it for show. Like the Diamondbacks objectively have one of the 5 or 6 smallest fan bases in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Just by existence.
7, something like that. Yeah, whatever it is.
They're one of the 2 most newest teams in the game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and the Rangers are not a national product. They're not a TV draw nationally. So even if the Dallas, Arlington area is a pretty substantial, obviously, piece of like a lot of people live there. And in terms of like Jared's point, at worst in 30 years, like
no. I'm saying
ever
or whatever. Like it's always.
I said
like,
the attendance is the best that it's been in 30 years. So I thought we were going to ride that wave into at least some World Series viewership.
But like, you compare the World Series viewership from now to 10 years ago, it's almost always going to be lower no matter what the matchup was. But this was the danger of Rangers D-backs as opposed to probably Astros Phillies. I don't think we would be having a worst of all time conversation if it was Astros Phillies. Probably still wouldn't be breaking records. And again, I don't think anybody should fucking care.
Well, look, you know what? This brings up an interesting question. If we're talking about how to sell the game of baseball, and we are trying to move away from the slow pace that the 3 true outcome provides, and we're trying to really sell like the activity on the base path and the athleticism, limiting defensive movement, and would it matter that you have these quote unquote stars? Because it almost feels like some of the stars are the guys who are putting the ball out of the ballpark. So is it a struggle trying to get folks to get on board with the brand of baseball that the Diamondbacks play, and maybe identifying the guys who make that machine go as it does, as opposed to being able to just kind of check in on a team like and I know you're going to laugh when I say this, but like, let's say the Angels are in the postseason. A casual can easily latch on to a Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani performance, right?
I think that's less to do with the style of play that the D-backs employ and more to do with the fact that you cannot establish stardom in the World Series in terms of being able to draw people in while it's going on. Like, you have to be a star level player who is ascending to the World Series and performing on the largest stage. So like, if to your point about the Angels, like Ohtani and Trout are already baked in superstars. Like, yes, Corbin Carroll is a star. We all know that, but like, he's not a star in the national sense. And there's basically nothing he can do in this World Series to impact World Series ratings this year.
I agree. I agree.
Do some crazy fucking shit. He could if he did some crazy.
took his shirt off. But I agree.
Got in a fight.
I agree with everything
his
that
bat at
both of you were
someone.
saying, because Jay, it's not like it's a coming out party per se for Corbin Carroll, because we know why his game is what it is, and we know how it impacts his team and the game of baseball. But casual fans might look at the game of baseball and how it's been played the last 5-10 plus years and think, well, Corbin Carroll's not a dude who's hitting 40, 50 homers. And we're going, no, but he's a dude who's hitting 30 plus and he's swiping 50 bags. Like, this dude's playing great defense. You need to pay attention to how this guy plays the game of baseball and how it's trending back to valuing guys like him. So when you don't have that big bludgeoner on the docket, but you do have a dude like him and a guy like Ketel Marte who just continues to swing the bat in the postseason. Is there?
We can talk about all of these fucking people until we're blue in the face. The deal is that the World Series happens while college football is going on, while the NFL is in the heart of its season, while the National Basketball Association is just getting started again, while the NHL is like 2.5 weeks into its season, 3 weeks into its season. Like, if the World Series is between two big market teams or teams with lots of established high wattage stars, then the ratings are going to be probably pretty good. If they don't have those things, the ratings are probably going to be pretty disappointing. What we need to focus on for people who are concerned, who are using ratings as a proxy for a concern about the growth of the game, is that you need to focus on the regular season. And I think there's lots of reasons to be encouraged about the 2023 regular season and the changes that were made and the results that came from those changes about why baseball is headed in the right direction. But if you pin your hopes to World Series ratings, you are setting yourself up for disappointment, because nobody is going to give a fuck about how good Corbin Carroll or Ketel Marte's hitting streak is right now. They're just not going to.
Put it like this.
If they don't already care, I mean.
I know a lot of people, Jay, who fancy themselves, fight fans, if you will, MMA fans. And there was just a big fight that occurred between the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And he fought a guy who was probably one of the baddest, if not the baddest man on the planet. in Francis Ngannou. And
That's not John Jones.
No, Francis Ngannou is a bad dude. John Jones, we're going to find out just how bad that dude is at heavyweight. I don't think anybody's got questions about that. I do not have questions about that. I take John Jones with a fucking ripped pec right now.
Yeah.
Straight up. John Jones
I'll
is
beat
a
his fucking
different,
ass.
is a
Beat
different
his
level of
fucking
dude.
ass.
Joe, I would sign you and 36 other Joes up for that, and I don't know that I'm taking you and your boys.
I don't care how big he is. I'll fuck him up.
But that
Because
like that
I'm just that type of guy. But
that
I'm
heavyweight
just that type of guy.
that heavyweight stardom, Jay Hay, that like we know who that fight was about, and we know who that fight involved, and we were all excited about that. Does anybody know who Tyson Fury is about to fight in I think it's December?
Jake Paul.
Is it December? Right. You don't. And that's where that's
Joseph
boxer versus boxer.
Duffield?
That's the sanctioned. Like it's just
It should be. Hey,
Butterbean.
he won't sign the fucking contract, Jay.
Yeah.
That's we've been trying to get this worked out.
Yeah.
Fat boy's kind of getting scared.
I think
but-
Jay Hay made the best point about this whole conversation. It's just it's about the regular season. Are ratings up there in the regular season when everyone is invested in baseball? Yep. Is attendance up? Yep. Is revenue up? Yep. Okay. So I mean, once it's World Series time, I think today is the only day in the calendar year that all 4 major sports were played on the same day. So yeah, there's other alternatives. I get it.
And the one thing that sucks too is that baseball, this is where it's most profitable as a business. If you are in the game as far as baseball goes, whether it's media, content, whatever, the postseason, this is where baseball does its work. This is where baseball makes its money. Like it just is that way. But as far as like staying power and understanding why things look the way they look, and to Jay Hay's point where the star power is created, is doing it over 162. And Joey, why I said that I agree with you as well, is because if you have a dude who just bursts onto the scene over say they play 5, 6, 7 games, and he's in the mix, this guy, whoever it is, all of those games, well, that's when you capture somebody's attention, right? And now they're looking for you come March of next year.
If Shohei was in the World Series, it'd be a fucking,
Global spectacle.
They would be up. Those numbers would be up. Everyone would be saying
They'd be breaking
baseball
records.
is back. Yeah.
It would
But-
absolutely be a spectacle. It would
Yeah.
rise above the other sports that are going on right now. And that's the difference.
Yeah. So you just gotta.
The only-
if you're worried about viewership, it's a roll of the dice. Who's
media
going to be in
outlets-
the?
Yeah. Major media outlets would pay people who don't even cover the sport to go cover it and opine on it. Like that's
Listen,
we've never seen that.
the only
They'll be there
rating that
next
you
year
need
with
to
the
worry
Braves.
about is the rating in your own household, people. Are the TVs on in your house, and are you enjoying it? Yes.
Yeah. Are you guys?
great? Let's have a
And
great
you can't
World
complain.
Series.
If you don't have it on your TV, then you bring up the stream on your phone and your laptop. Then don't complain. You don't care about the sport.
Oh yeah, I
You
mean,
need
I
to
don't
be
care
streaming
about,
on
I don't
4
care about all
devices.
that, but yeah,
You should. The ratings are down.
I don't. But we don't care. Remember, we just talked about that.
I'm just being a little sarcastic, but
I know.
me. Just a
You
little
know,
bit of troll.
Classic.
I'm just
classic
a little bit
Duff.
troll.
Classic Joe.
Yeah, classic Duff.
Guys, imagine what you can accomplish when you're not distracted by the swampy conditions in your shorts. Dollar Shave Club's ball spray is like deodorant for your balls. It absorbs moisture, reduces chafing, and keeps those rank odors at bay. Not to mention our minty fresh tingly aroma that lets you know you're fresh, and a precision sprayer that makes application easy at any angle. Get a fresh pair. Visit dollarshaveclub.com to get ball spray today.
All right. Game 4 coming at you on Tuesday night. Bullpen game for the DBacks. The Heen machine for them Rangers. Who do we got taking game 4? Dallas?
Oh. I mean, it's
Is
tough for me to not. Snakes up.
Oh my fucking God, Dallas. You got this series getting tied? Oh.
Absolutely, we're at home. We're at home.
Who's your
Snakes
X
got a
factor?
rebound.
Who's your X factor for game 4?
Marino's going deep.
Okay. All right.
Marino's going deep.
Okay.
Like that's I didn't even know it until right now. I just fucking
came to you.
Yeah. So you go ahead and book that. Jake, cut it. We'll clip that tomorrow. Thanks.
Jay, who you got in game 4?
I'm rolling snakes as well.
Wow. Dub snakes in game 4. Damn. We're going to be pumping it up tomorrow night.
I think it's bad news with Andrew Heaney on the bump. I think the D-backs are going to get to him right away. Some people are off the Christian Walker X Factor train.
Not me.
I would not be one of those people. No. I think he's going to go deep tomorrow. No.
Oh, wow. You got Christian Walker as the X Factor.
Do it to him.
Off
Do
of
it to
Heaney.
him, Jay.
Off of Heaney.
Shit.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. I don't know if they're hitting. I don't know if they're back to back in the lineup, Jay. But did they just go back to back? I don't know if that's. Look. I'm not drawing the lineup up.
Tell Lavello to holler at us.
Joseph, what do you got in game 4?
I'm a Cowboy, but I'm also going snakes.
What?
I
Oh!
gotta go snakes. I think snakes are alive. I think Adolis going down is a big.
That is a big factor.
Big hit, because the reason why I like the Rangers so much is because I just think they're gonna out homer the D-backs. That's their big strength over them. But without Adolis, that hurts. And one thing we didn't talk about is Mr. Spores shuts the doors.
Yeah, he did.
That little injury. Let's pray that does, because if that's actually a real thing that's gonna hurt him, then that might be the worst hit for the Rangers.
Fuck it, Joe.
Out of anyone.
He can jump on the T train too. We got plenty of tickets. Plenty of tickets on the T train.
I don't doubt it. I got faith in Spores.
Yeah.
Just got to throw
Jared,
it out
is that a
there,
little premature snaculation there? You thought?
I mean, listen, he fucking fooled me.
Nope.
Oh. But I mean, if you're going to ask
Rangers?
me, though.
Oh, you're going Rangers? We're asking. You're going Rangers? That's cute. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
If you're going to ask me
Nobody
about
cares.
how I see game 4 going, there's only one team. There's only one team that can come out on top in a game 4 like this. And that's the D-backs, honestly. It's a fucking bullpen game. I can see that just absolutely causing chaos with the Rangers lineup. You don't have Adolis Garcia, maybe. Who knows what you're going to get from Heaney. You're going to get a different look every couple innings with the bullpen game from the D-backs. How they're due for a loss on the road at some point. 9-0, that's a hell of a streak. But I mean, Jesus Christ, the series just feels like a roller coaster. I could see it being the D-backs in game 4.
And you know what else they got?
What?
Hottest hitter in America, Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham, yeah,
he's
what's
emerged. Good, Pham.
He's emerged.
I told you, I didn't want to toot my own horn too much and be like, not only is he gonna see what Mike Maddox said, but he's gonna find out from my tweet. Lo and behold, he saw it. He saw that tweet. So
I'm glad the Mike Maddox was able to take in a game 3.
Yeah,
I'm
glad he was able to
many
take
people had to
in
make
air
it
through his trachea after he saw that tweet. So, all right, guys, got some bonus content tonight. We'll be back after game 4. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check out the YouTube. Subscribe. We're getting really close to 500,000 subscribers. Head on over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, share. Tell your friends about Baseball is Dead if they're into the World Series. Trying to get to 500K by the end of the playoffs. Can't do it without you guys. All right, we'll be back after game 4.
Wow.